Alright, so I received a very good question. I'll read his question, or read his message, and I'm respond back. This is what it says. After watching your video on Wing Chun versus JKD and how other people are claiming the styles and profiting off of Bruce's and Wing Chun's expression of the martial arts, does this mean that FMK will die along with you, or will you pass it on to your Todais or even children? And if so, would you want it to be called something else? Because in essence, if your children decide to practice and teach the martial arts as they get older, it is surely inevitable that your influences will play a part in their journey. So FMK will be carried on, only it will have your children's concepts in it as well. Now, that's a good question. And that's something that I was thinking about since running this school. I tried to go the route of basically establishing a ranking system and basically trying to get certain individuals to live up to my expectations, but it's a very difficult thing. I pretty much abandoned the idea because it is so difficult to implement. It is not, for the majority of people out there, it might be 1% of the population, or whatever the case may be, that may be able to live up to the expectations that I have. But most of the people are not here to be living up to my expectations, and it's infringing upon their right to be themselves. And I think that is essentially what I'm trying to promote now, is just basically get people to be themselves, to just develop themselves according to their own goals and ideals. But whether or not FMK will live on, like after I live, if I'm not here to monitor and manage everything, it wouldn't work. At least not at this phase. It's like basically, I'll put it like this. It's like having it, like when you're developing a business, like a martial arts school like FMK, which is incorporated now. It's like a baby, and a baby needs time to grow. Like you can't expect, like even after 5 years, you can't expect the baby to be sufficient. No, the baby needs time, more than just 5 years, more than just 10 years, more than just 15 years. And it's probably going to be around 20 years, 2 decades before the person is going to have enough, of the ability to kind of go off on their own and be responsible. And that's pretty much the government's even saying that we're not even considered to be adults until the age of 21. So basically, we need 21 years of life experiences to even be considered an adult. So meaning, FMK would probably have to be established for at least 20. I'll go with the government standards, and I'll say FMK will have to be established for at least 21 years before it can even be passed on to anybody to manage FMK responsibly. After they have, are willing to follow upon my guidance. But if that's not the case, then it should just die with me, and a new name should be developed if they want to continue on with basically promoting and sharing these sorts of ideas. Now, as of right now, I mean that's from the very beginning. But when you encounter martial artists that are experienced themselves and they have a lot of life experiences, I could just basically point people in the proper directions. And basically, as long as YouTube is up, as long as the internet is there, that's why I've created so many videos. I've created thousands of videos. There's thousands of videos to reference. So the videos are right before your eyes. Alright? Not just the combative expression, but the physical fitness expression, and also the spirituality, the Philosia. It's there. Now, to understand it, it's going to be difficult because things are everywhere. It's not organized. But people like the first, Ben Nicholas, or Ben Nichols, who, he's the editor of my Reflections book. He took the time to put that together for me. So he's somebody who's helping to organize these ideas. Todai Ryan, for example, is helping to organize the YouTube channel. So essentially, that's basically what John Little did for Bruce Lee. Organize his ideas to basically better present Bruce's ideas to help the people gain a better understanding. And essentially what I would need are the responsible organizers of the material that is there, such as the videos, and the videos can also be transcribed into book format. Also, the exercise videos and the technique videos could be properly organized and presented, so then basically the expression is something that could be basically turned into something of high quality and value for people on their journey to the martial arts through studying with FMK. So it can be done. I could see that. Ben Nichols already has been working on the book organization. Todai Ryan is already participating in helping to manage the YouTube channel. And it would need responsible individuals, in order to keep it moving forward. And I see that not all the power should be vested into one single individual. Say if I did, pass away, whatever the case may be, it shouldn't be vested into one single individual. I see that everybody has their talents and what they're good at, what they're not. And the people could come together to keep FMK alive, just like a household or maintaining a home. It's like FMK is like building the home, and once the home is built, if you got enough time, say you got 21 years to build that home, you build the home after 21 years of labor, it's there, the structure's there. Now after you pass away, will that home crumble down, or will it be adequately maintained? And not only maintained, but potentially improved upon. Because say you build this home, it's a nice home, and then you pass away, and then somebody else that continues to take care of your home, and then adds to it, adds another floor, remodels it to make it even better, then that's good. And basically it's all about finding responsible people to do that. And it's like responsible, mature people that are not greedy. They're not greedy for money, they're not greedy for attention, but they're there to help that business continue to grow. Not for their own selfish reasons where they just want to make a lot of money for themselves, but no, it's about preserving the values of FMK while not corrupting the message of FMK, but seeing the videos, collecting all the videos, and organizing the videos, and basically sharing to the public what has already been created, and better organizing these ideas to help people gain a greater understanding. Like, they don't even need to essentially put their own ideas in there, but if they want to, they can. Just like what Todai Ryan is doing, he's making his own videos. Even Siheng Shunyan has been making his own, made a few of his own videos expressing his ideas. Now, when they have their videos, that's clearly them speaking for themselves, or speaking out of their own heart, expressing the truth that they see. And people can see that for what it is. That's their expression. But then these two individuals can also be helping to organize the videos that I've created in order to edit them, or not even, they could edit them, or they could basically better structure the presentation of these ideas in order to encourage a greater understanding. And I could see that could be done. As far as the physical expression of it, the physical fitness, it's just living up to the high physical standards that that I've established and continue to promote. Like, people should just like continue to promote that, you know, if they wish to continue with FMK. But basically, there has to be Todais that have that genuine drive and that passion to keep FMK alive. If they don't have it, then it's best that it just ends. You know, but if I was to pass away right now, of the people that I've trained, and you know, for how long I've been here, Todai Ryan, obviously, you know, he would be able to continue on with managing the YouTube, and he would be continually expressing his ideas, you know, and his spirit is high up there, his intelligence is high up there, and we kind of have this connection, and he has like a certain understanding that I have about the martial arts. And same thing with the Shunyan. His intelligence is there, his spirit is there, you know, and basically they would be able to continue to express that part of FMK through the FMK YouTube channel, and even directly to people. Jenny would be expressing her ideas. Her ideas are different than mine, and it's not exactly the same, but people enjoy to see it. So then she'll be making videos too. Even if I pass away, she'll still be making videos. Todai Ryan be making videos. Shunyan will be making videos. And the other people that I've trained, that I've grown close to, they may have their expression of what they want to say. You know, it's like I'm trying to bring together people that have this positivity, this positive community, and bring it into this FMK. As far as the physical fitness is concerned, everybody's working hard towards trying to better their physical fitness in a natural way, free from, like, you know, steroids and illegal drugs and, you know, these performance drugs. Free from all that, but just a natural, hard-working training to develop yourself to a high level physically. As far as combatively, I would want to put less emphasis on that. As far as like, oh, who's so, you know, who's like, you know, better than who combatively, I want to put less emphasis on that. You know, but I see that the FMK YouTube channel should stay. If I did pass away, it should stay and continue to be managed, you know, by, you know, responsible people. You know, continue to be managed by responsible people, and then the information, the videos that are part of that channel can be collected and basically utilized in a way that it could be better organized to present the ideas in a more organized fashion, like what John Little did for Bruce Lee. He pretty much took all his writings together and organized his ideas, you know. So the material online should be done in that manner, you know. But as far as like the physical school is concerned, that would shut down. You know, the physical school of FMK, if I passed away, it would shut down. Because it wouldn't really, you know, the people, like if Shunyun, for example, wanted to keep teaching, it'd be better if he just came with his own label, you know, into his own method. Because there's not enough time, I didn't have enough time to develop anybody to be able to take over the physical representation of what I have to share with the world. So the physical school of FMK would shut down. And the people that have trained with me, if they wanted to teach on their own, they would be directed to develop a new label, not using FMK. You know, but the online expression would stay there and be managed properly. Now, if you're talking about my children, if you're talking about 20 years from now, what will happen? I don't know. If I'm still alive and I'm training people and I feel that they're representing my school properly, then potentially I could give the go-ahead and say, okay, you could keep the physical school location alive and pass on this this art the right way. But there has to be like a lot of responsibility. You know, it has to be somebody that's not greedy. You know, somebody that's not like in it for the money, or the fame or the attention or anything like that. And they have to really have the understanding that I have. You know, and they really have to follow my strict guidelines. And right now, I'm following the guidelines of the state and what they require to get a concealed carry firearms license for the state of Illinois. It's pretty clear cut, you know, and I'll be following those guidelines in addition to adding my own requirements that will take it to a much higher level. But if my children, if they don't have interest in this, in teaching martial arts, if none of them have the interest, then it's not going to be forced upon them. If there's no Todais that are living up to the standards that I feel that should be represented within this school, then the name should end, and they should create their own name. But in order for the name to continue in the physical location where you're teaching them directly and you're carrying on this name after I pass away, I mean, the people would have to live up to my expectations. They would have to live up to my expectations, you know, and then carry it forward from there. You know, it's just a lot about responsibility. It's about maturity. It's about continuing on that path for the rest of your life and not deviating from it. And through time, it will show. You know, like my father, for example, he's 63 years old. He's been living this lifestyle since he was like 20 or even earlier. So it's like over 43 years he's been training. I mean, he's been, you know, he consistently running in marathons. He's ran in the 17 of them. He's been in over 8 triathlons. He keeps training. It's just in him. And that's what needs to be shown for the people to take over if I do pass away. You know, early or later on. But if somebody, you know, has been with me for 20 years, and they're showing that they're living this way. Say my kid, you know, he's 25 years old. He turns 25, and he's continually been training and representing. Then he may be able to take over if that's what he wants. But if that's not what he wants, then he's not going to take over. And then it's just going to have to be shut down. Shut down the business and use the money for whatever. But either way, as long as YouTube is here and the internet, then the YouTube channel will stay alive. And it has to be properly managed. If nobody's willing to manage it, if Todai Ryan's not around anymore, and no Todai is, you know, responsible enough to manage it, and Jenny doesn't want to do it, or there's no one else there to do it, then it just, you know, then it just stays what it is, you know. Or am I just like wire to the money to, you know, somebody's bank account, like one of my children's or whatever, and just have them take the money, but then they don't mess with the channel, they just leave the channel alone. If they don't have that drive to organize that information and properly manage it correctly. There has to be responsibility. If there's not going to be any responsible management, then it's better to shut down the business, because it's just going to destroy the reputation. There has to be responsible management, you know, and it can't be for like greedy and for profit. You know, that's why people jump in the cage or go in the ring, is because they want attention, they want money, they want fame. The people that are going to pass on FMK, they can't be motivated by that. They can't be motivated by attention, fame, and money. It's not that. It's just in their heart just to do it. It's not because they want attention, fame, and money. They're beyond that. Those are the people that have to pass on FMK. If I can't find any of those people, then it's not. Then it's gonna stop. It needs to be stopped. You know. So basically, I don't know what's gonna happen 20 years from now. So I can't really say. You know, but if I have more time to build on FMK, then 20, 30 years from now, it could potentially be something very successful, where there will be a lot of people that want to pass on this name. And then there will be those strict requirements of what is required to become one of the officers to pass on this name. What's the requirement to be the CEO and the vice president and things like that. And basically operate like how a successful business would operate. Just like Steve Jobs is the creator of the Apple. He recently passed away, but it doesn't mean that Apple dies with him. No, Apple's still here. Apple's very successful. They needed to find, you know, very responsible people to take over in order to continue to make it grow and be successful. But if these people are not responsible, then Apple will go out of business. And it's the same thing with the government. I mean, you had, when Bill Clinton was president, things were going pretty well. But then when George Bush took over, we went through the worst times ever. And now Barack Obama's in, and now things are getting a little bit better. So, FMK, as long as I'm here to basically develop a strong team of people to help this thing continue on for the future. But if I don't have enough time, like if I die unexpectedly, then it's best that the name ends and then a new one is created, because then it wouldn't, I didn't have enough time to prepare for a solid like structure that's gonna be something that's gonna be passed on generation to generation. There has to be something that, like strict guidelines, just like what the police do, and just like what they're doing with the concealed carry. There's strict guidelines. Like, you can't drink alcohol when you have a gun with you. Okay, you can't have any you can't be arrested within the last 5 years to get the concealed carry. All right, you can't smoke weed. You can't take drugs when you have a gun. You can't be convicted of any of that. You gotta take a course to get qualified. And these qualifications only last for 5 years, and you gotta recertify. I'm following all those guidelines, in addition adding on my own with the fitness requirements, the combative and all that. And then it doesn't last forever. It expires and you need to recertify. I feel that to be extremely important. So there has to be an enforcer to make sure that these guidelines are being properly established, so then people that claim themselves to be Sifus of FMK, they're truly qualified according to the requirements of what I expect. But if those qualifications cannot be met, then it should be abolished. And basically, there should be nobody that's qualified to pass on what I have to teach other than myself. Then it just be referencing my videos, referencing my writings, and what is out there where it's actually me. That's the right way to do it. But to basically replicate like myself within somebody else, like replicate my spirit within somebody else, it's gonna take, if it's coming from birth until, from birth, it might take at least 20 years or longer. If it's coming from somebody who has been trained and lived a long period of time with, in his life, it depends on the connection that we have, and it depends on, how developed he is in the areas of fitness and the combat. But we have to, the people that get passed on FMK, they have to be awakened themselves. They have to be enlightened. And to identify a person that's awakened and enlightened is not that easy. It's not something that you can just visually see and just be like, point at that person, oh, he's enlightened. No. It's not somebody that just shaves their head and then wears robes and then you be like, oh, he's enlightened. No, it's not that easy. And I wouldn't ever want anybody trying to represent FMK that's on steroids or any other enhancement drugs to basically falsify the physical fitness aspect of it. And nobody in FMK would ever be allowed to enter into any of these competitions to exploit the combative techniques of the art. So it's something where there's a lot of expectations that I have, and it takes time for anybody to prove to me that they're worthy to pass it on to the next generation. It's going to take at least 20 years or longer. And if I'm 80 years old, and then I got my kids who are 40 or 50 years old, and I'm 80 years old, and my kids are 50, 60 years old, like as old as my dad is right now, and they're still training, and they're training hard, and they're doing a great job, then yeah, they're going to be the ones passing on FMK, because they're still representing at the age of 50, 60, up to my expectations. Yeah, they're passing it on. And if I'm passing it on to them. And when they start managing it and they can't find anybody else to pass it on after them, then they're going to end it. End the name right there, and then have the people create their own name. That's the right way to do it. You know, and only time will tell. We never know what's going to happen in the future. Dominic's, for example, was in business for I think almost 100 years or longer, and then now they're shutting down all their businesses, and they're going back to the drawing board, and they're coming up with something new. And I feel that that's what happens a lot of times when things are not being adequately represented, and it gets corrupted. And look at all the things out there that are corrupted. I mean, the police departments are corrupted, the governments are corrupted. I mean, religion is corrupted, martial arts is corrupted. So many things out there are corrupted. But look at the businesses out there, though. Some of these businesses are very successful. And look at these universities. Some of these universities are very successful. So that shows that the business way of doing things can be successful if you have good organization and good management, and you do things the right way. Apple is very successful, right? Bill Gates created Microsoft. When he passes away, will Microsoft still be successful when he passes away? Time will tell. But if when he passes away, Microsoft could go downhill. Apple is okay now, but it could go downhill. There's a lot of businesses out there that went downhill. Bally's was doing okay, now it's out of business. Now it's taken over by LA Fitness. So, FMK is doing okay right now. I need time to keep developing it. As it develops, we'll see whether or not it can continue. But as I stated, just like with a baby, newborn, your wife is pregnant. Or a year goes by, the baby's 1 year old. It's only 1 year old. You can't pass on the name of your family and only be 1 year. 5 years old, he can't pass on the name of your family. 10 years old, he can't pass on the name of your family. Even 20 years old, he's not even ready to pass on the name of your family. He just didn't even graduate from college yet. He don't even got a job. 25 years old, he finally graduated from college. Has an okay job. Still don't got a girlfriend. 30 years later, he's 30 years old. He's got a little bit more money. Still didn't buy his own home yet. Still can't find a girlfriend. 35 years old, finally finds the girlfriend. Gets her pregnant. Now they start the family. So it took him 35 years to have one child to pass on your name. And then the child happens to be a girl. And now he has to try again, have another kid. Now he's 38 years old. Finally, it's a boy. Now the name is there. But then the boy grows up, and then somebody kills the guy, like they did to Brandon Lee. Now the name is gone again. So you see, you don't know what's going to happen in the future. And it takes time. So for FMK, it takes a lot of time, to see if it's something that's going to pass on. But as far as the videos are concerned, as far as the YouTube is concerned, the internet, if the internet's still up, then yeah, that's going to be continually to thrive as long as the internet and YouTube is there. But if YouTube shuts down, the internet shuts down through the SOPA, what they're talking about in the past, whatever, and the internet shuts down, YouTube shuts down, FMK's done. Because, without the YouTube, that huge part of the expression is gonna be gone. That's just what it is. Unless you got the videos and some other archive that can be preserved You know, the videos could be preserved in a certain archive, and then it could be redistributed through another way, through making DVDs or something like that. But other people would have to manage that. They'd have to create the video archive and then create the DVDs and start sharing DVDs. So it's just there's a lot of factors involved, you know, and to build a successful business is not easy, and time will tell what will happen. But this is not just an average business that's just about profit. The values are extremely important. So for example, there's another successful business called Century Martial Arts. They sell martial arts equipment, but they sell it to anybody. They sell it to combat sport people, they sell it to taekwondo people, they sell it to whoever. All they care about is making money. FMK is not that simple. It's not just about making money. It's about living up to certain values. So that in itself presents a challenge. And as I stated, the people that manage FMK cannot be so focused on greed and attention and fame. They gotta be beyond that. They gotta actually be enlightened and awakened. You know, and right now I do feel that Toda Ryan, and you know, he has that enlightenment, that understanding. And Shunyun is still training hard. He's doing very well, and he has an understanding. You know what I'm saying? And we're working hard towards building on this, building on it. And then when my kids get older, we'll see where they're at, whether or not they have the understanding. If they don't have the understanding, then they're not part of this team until they get the understanding. They're not a part of this management team. They're not. They need the understanding. So if my kids grow up, oh, I want to do competition fighting, well, go ahead. But we're not supporting that. You know what I'm saying? That's not a part of FMK. That's your thing. You know, but hopefully that's not what they're going to do. If they want to do martial arts, they jump on board and this is what they do. We'll help them gain that understanding and help them, you know, make this live on. You know, but we'll see. But as far as the blood is concerned, I got 5 kids, and my blood is in each one of them. And it's not going to be as easy to kill off this family as it was for them to kill off Bruce's family. All they had to do was just kill Brandon Lee. The leader's gone. Done. They don't care about Shannon. They just use her as a puppet to make money for the MMA. But Brandon Lee was representing real martial arts, and they didn't want that, so they had to take him out. So with me, I got a lot of kids. I got 4 boys that could be representing the martial arts, and even Angelina. So I got 5 kids that could be representing the martial arts. It's gonna be harder to take them all out. So my blood is out there. But as far as this corporation is concerned, this FMK business, I need a lot more time to build it. A lot more time to build it. And if I could have 20 years, 30, 40 years, 50 years to build this thing, then yeah, I think it could be something very successful that could be passed on to the next generation the right way. You know, where when people get to the Sifu rank, it actually represents something of high significance. It represents something even more significant than becoming a police officer or entering into the military. It'd be something like becoming a judge or something, or being like a professor. I mean, it's like a doctor. I mean, it's just something where these people, it requires an immense amount of hard work to get to that level, and it's a high level of development. You're talking about somebody who's like 50 years old, 60 years old, that's tip-top shape, all natural, that could fight like he could defend himself like crazy, like he's extremely talented in defending himself. I'm talking about a 60, 70-year-old that could basically probably beat up a bunch of people half his age if he had to. And you're talking about wisdom, just like crazy wisdom. Meditative, humble, calm, peaceful, non-competitive, not materialistic, not greedy, not selfish, very giving. Just representing martial arts like thoroughly. You know, that's kind of what I envision. You know what I'm saying? So it could happen, but we'll see. It just provides a lot of it provides like nice goals to strive towards, like fun goals to strive towards. It's exciting, you know, because it gives goals and objectives for not just myself, but for Todais of FMK that are interested in that, and then also for my children, if that's what they want to do. But if they want to do something else, they can do something else. I'm not going to stop them, you know. But yeah, that's how I feel about it.